Okay, my name is Rand Eberhard, and my sweet daughter, my middle daughter, Olivia, is filming this short video where I will be responding to the three questions presented. My experience and perceptions of preaching as preacher and listener and participant in my community of faith. The church we're a part of is a Methodist church. I serve as youth director, and I grew up Methodist, and in my first traditional service and through life, I experienced a reoccurring norm, both in sacrament and the Red Book hymnal, the preaching style, and everything that would happen was pretty predictable. Years later, I would enter a recovery program, and we would attend 3 times a week a charismatic Pentecostal church. So I had quite a different experience in both worship and the style of music, the style, the freedom of worship, and the way the things I experienced there were far different and very interesting, compelling, rewarding. Initially created a lot of skepticism, but through my faith journey of now 15 years since, God has revealed to me many things that have been helpful in my own formation of faith and understanding preaching as practitioner and listener. Currently in a Methodist church, what I would consider good preaching is a combination of some historical influence, some exegetical work that would go into extracting a deeper truth contextually, and then a transition or a recognition anyway of a need, a sin issue, a struggle that we can understand pathologically, emotionally as we connect to such need, and logically, how do we then respond? And a good preacher has the ability to not only identify these needs, but draw correlation to ancient times and demonstrating how God's people face challenges that are reoccurring through the course of history, and then equipping with a solid strategy for daily life and how we might respond to the presenting issues that life has, and ancient people, how they encountered and dealt with such issues, and how we can lean on history as we know it, and how it informs and invites us into the freedom that Christ has for us. So that's good preaching, and that happens infrequently in the context I currently serve. However, we have a wonderful pastor and senior minister who will retire this June. He's a phenomenal orator of the word, storyteller, has a good grasp on Judea, ancient Judea, and Jewish history. So I think there's many things that inform and prepare for a great message. Bad preaching is the absence of any or all of those measures, and would solely lie on a person's story or on a person's experience, or might even lose sight of connecting with their intended audience. This might be a bit over Olivia's head. She's laughing at me. Hold the camera still.
Sorry.
So my interest in preaching, it comes from the prophetic movement. I had my experience in preaching is I have spoken as a young life leader in front of a very diverse crowd. Thank you, Olivia.
Sorry.
Head on out. Head on out. Thank you, buddy. You're forgiven. This has taken quite a while. Okay, so preaching in front of large groups, multi-ethnic groups, and speaking in front of recovery-based groups. As a recovered person, I've had the opportunity to speak in front of a number of groups in the recovery world. The hopes and goals that I have for this class is that God would give me a good template for teaching, a good strategy to build a good sermon. The framework to understand how to better connect with a broader audience, providing the message of hope and good news. The sense of calling in ministry and the word of in service to God's mission. I've been saved from much, as we all have, and what a great concept to consider. But we've also been saved and therefore called for and towards a restoration ministry, a presentation of the gospel of hope. Therefore, we must have feet that are readily equipped with the readiness of the gospel. So that's my goal this semester, is to live deeper into this calling and better equip myself to respond to a global need. Thank you, and I really look forward to learning from you. Amen.